Hello there, everyone. Happy Sunday. 535 Storm Team Meteorologist T.J. Springer here in the Storm Center for a breakfast chat. We are tracking the Tropics. Sorry for being just a touch behind here. I know we start right at 10:30. I was actually on live now on Fox just a bit ago talking about Tropical Storm Chantal. Still a tropical storm here this morning. It will be likely weakening into a depression here as we progress over the next few hours. So we'll have that latest advisory coming up in just about a half hour or so. How are you doing? Let me know what's going on. I see 16 of you watching now on YouTube, so that is wonderful. I see 11 of you watching on Facebook, so thanks for hopping on. If you have any questions, let me know, but we do want to start with Tropical Storm Chantal. If you didn't know, weren't watching us this morning on Good Day Orlando, made landfall around 4 o'clock this morning in South Carolina. Litchfield Beach, to be exact, had a sustained wind of around 50 miles per hour. I would imagine that hurricane force gusts just about were on the table as it did make landfall. It is continuing to work inland as we speak. If you have friends or family here, we did have a tornado warning earlier on this morning, so be sure you are keeping tabs on them and make sure they have a way to receive watch them warnings. If you're watching us from the Carolinas, maybe you're streaming us there, make sure you have a way to receive watches and warnings like the Fox Local app. Right now, you can still see some heavy rain, some convection, some storms near the center. That is located in a northeastern South Carolina right now, getting really close to the North Carolina-South Carolina state line. And as it moves farther inland up into southern North Carolina through early this afternoon, we'll have a tropical depression on our hands, and then it starts to lose its characteristics, the tropical nature. It is back down to an extra tropical cyclone as we head through the wee hours of our Monday, and then heading right up toward the Delmarva, the Chesapeake Bay, close to Virginia Beach, the Delaware Beach, Ocean City, Maryland. So if you have friends or family up here, maybe you're leaving Central Florida, maybe you're vacationing up here, it could be a little rough. Some still blustery conditions, some rain, and some rougher surf out there in the Atlantic. So that's something we'll be keeping tabs on as well. Sean, hello. How are you? Hi in Mount Dora. How's it going? Right, I'm seeing, let's see. Hi from Miko. Hi, Mary. Good morning to you in Miko. Unique Centron. So you were asking about hurricane status. No, it is not in the hurricane status. This was thankfully not a hurricane. This was just a tropical storm. I don't want to diminish it because it's still packing a punch, but thankfully this did not organize enough to become a Category 1 hurricane. So this was just Tropical Storm Chantal. But still, as I'm about to show you, bringing in some rough surf across the eastern seaboard. And this is the case. Wave heights right now are around still 7 to 10 feet potentially just offshore of the Carolinas, the Carolina coastline. And that is nothing you want to be surfing in. I'm sure there are some of you that maybe know professionals, maybe you know someone that surfs hardcore, maybe you're a professional surfer. I would not recommend getting out there and surfing in this, but it's certainly bringing some hefty wave heights. You can see here in the lighter shades of green and yellow, that's estimated wave heights around 6 to potentially 10 feet or so as we head through the remainder of our Sunday. Now, as Chantal continues to work off to the north and east, as it weakens, the wave heights will also start to come down a bit as well. But you can see even in the open Atlantic, even up into the mid-Atlantic and New England, there is still some blustery conditions and some rougher surf, that elevated risk of a rip currents through this upcoming work week. Now, with the modeling, all of our tropical models, you can see they all start to indicate this turn off to the north and east. Now, with that, as it gets back into the open Atlantic, even though it's not warm up there, water temperature-wise, it still may be able to turn back into a depression, potentially. There is that signal there. You can see the orange and the red as we head through mid to late next week for maybe a depression off the mid-Atlantic or northeast coast. So up and down the eastern seaboard, expect some rougher surf, rougher beach conditions, and an elevated risk of rip currents. That's something we'll continue to monitor here as well. If you're just joining us, hi, we're on Fox 35's Facebook page, my Facebook page, and you can follow me there, Meteorologist T.J. Springer. We're on Fox 35's YouTube page, and we are also on Fox Local. And this just in, breaking here, which is great news. The advisory coming in, Chantal has been downgraded to a tropical depression with sustained wind of 35 miles per hour. So this is great. So let me take you back over here to Chantal. So it's moving north at 9 miles per hour here. And this is the latest. You're watching it live here. And it looks like they may not, per the National Hurricane Center, extend it any more than around Richmond or Virginia Beach as an extratropical cyclone. So that's something we'll continue to monitor here in the Storm Center, but it looks like they're not at least hinting at any sort of redevelopment. But I'm not going to say never or no, because the water even in the mid-Atlantic has warmed up. So if this can reorganize, even if it's something subtropical, it remains an extratropical area of low pressure, it could still bring some rougher surf and some indirect impacts and some blustery conditions to the eastern seaboard, to the Jersey beaches, the Delaware beaches, the Maryland beaches, and so on and so forth. Tracy, hello to you all the way in Pennsylvania. Hi, Bonnie. How's it going? Hi, Louise. Mary, I hope I answered your question about the Jersey beaches. Robert, how are you? So you're asking about rain in Lake County, and for those of you that are watching on Fox Local, if you're not dual streaming on your phone and Fox Local, we're going to take a break here in around a minute at 10:40 for a couple minutes, so don't go anywhere. We will stay here on our Fox 35 Weather Extra, our breakfast chat, but let me pull up our Fox model here, Robert, and for anyone else watching, wondering how the rest of our day is going to pan out. Hi, Nick. How are you? How's it going? Hello, Warcry. Hey, Tracy. How's it going? Thanks for hopping on. I see 18 of you watching on YouTube. We love to see it. Okay, so here's our Fox weather model. We'll bring this through the remainder of our Sunday. You can see the showers and thunderstorms starting to spark early this afternoon. Now, notice the wind flow. Yesterday, if you remember, that boundary, that trailing boundary behind Chantal was right overhead. Now we're getting that southwest wind kind of pumping up into Chantal. So the southwest wind going to dominate, likely motion of storms off to the northeast. For the most part, boundary interaction could kind of throw this off a little bit. But heading through the remainder of the afternoon, that southwest wind meets the east coast sea breeze, and we start to see more showers and thunderstorms developing, seeing these in places like Daytona, around New Smyrna, Cocoa Beach, Palm Coast, Flagler Beach, and these all work off to the northeast through the remainder of the night, fading away, losing the heating. And for the most part, I would say a mainly dry Monday morning commute, but we are, at least from our Fox weather model here, showing a little bit of activity, some spotty downpours tomorrow, and then we see some more isolated in nature tomorrow afternoon into the evening. So all in all, not too shabby. Okay, if anybody has any theme park plans, let me know if you're going out to the theme parks. We actually were out there yesterday. We hit up Universal and had the ponchos out in full force. Lots of people in ponchos. I'm glad they were prepared because it was a deluge. Debbie, hello to you from Florida. I love it. Michelle, Mattis, Stacknick, hello. Herman, hello to you all the way up in West Virginia. That's wonderful. Little inside scoop. I actually used to work in West Virginia. That was my first television market. All right, welcome back to those of you. If you are watching on Fox Local on your smart TV, your smart device, we're back on Fox Local with you, talking about the theme park forecast. And I'm sure many of you, if you don't live here now, you vacationed in Florida, you've come down and hit the theme parks up. So we're just doing a little theme park forecast here. Chances for showers and thunderstorms on the rise through early afternoon into the evening. So pack the rain gear, you'll need it. And that goes for not just the theme parks, the attractions, but essentially all of the Fox 35 viewing area. We are expecting, once again, hit or miss showers and thunderstorms in the heating of the day. I do think we're going to see more sunshine. I'll bring up our little sky cam tour here. We actually are seeing a lot of sunshine right now, which is great. It's a much brighter morning compared to what we saw on our Saturday, if you were watching us. Hello, Daniel. Near SeaWorld, I love it. Another home away from home. Okay, tonight, anything that does develop will slowly fade away. Lows staying seasonable, low to mid 70s. Robert, tell little Evangeline I say hello. I love that. That's awesome. And overall, that's the theme, drying out as we head through this upcoming work week, at least compared to what we have been seeing. The 7-day forecast, we'll throw that up. 90 today, 92 Monday. We're kind of between these two disturbances, what is left of Chantal and this disturbance in the Gulf, so we get a little bit of ridging in between that. 92 isolated chances for showers and thunderstorms, and then we start to get into a more of an onshore flow, and that can lead to a little more moisture, some afternoon rain chances, higher rain chances, more of a likelihood in a late week into next weekend. Daniel, I love that you work at SeaWorld. That is awesome. Christina, hello to you in Palm Bay. How's it going? Hi, Fran. Thank you all for your questions and comments. If anything is on your mind, let me know. And I know I mentioned this yesterday. I need to make up a little schedule. So if you've never heard, we're not just streaming on Facebook and YouTube. I know I just mentioned this, but if you're just hopping on, we are also streaming on Fox Local. That's our app that you can get on your TV, on your smart device, your tablet, your phone. And we have to take breaks just like we would on TV. So we take these 2-minute breaks every so often, about every 10 minutes. So our next break on Fox Local, if you're just tuning in, will be at 10:50. But I do want to make up a little schedule so you see that, and I'll actually probably show this on the air from time to time. And I also kind of want to make up a little rundown. I know I can stay on a little longer. Our show right now, at least on Fox Local, is only from 10:30 to 11. But I want to keep this as fun as I can. I want to talk about the weather, talk about what's going on, here locally, but also big picture wise, which thoughts and prayers to everyone impacted by the flooding in Texas. Just heartbreaking. We had another live report today out of Texas, so that's just terrible. But I also want to talk about some of the fun stories that we had on this morning on our air. Myself and Marley during Good Day Orlando were talking about a few different trending stories. One of those is National Fried Chicken Day. Woo! National Fried Chicken Day is today, and I know there are some businesses that are running some fun specials. And this is like, I think that just the day and age that we're in, having your phone, having the apps of these restaurants is really the way to get some of these deals, and it looks like that's the case once again today. I think Bojangles we mentioned KFC, we mentioned Cracker Barrel. Those are the places that are doing some fun deals for National Fried Chicken Day. So if you're in the mood, we were in the mood after hearing about it, go get yourself some fried chicken and celebrate. We also were talking about, we had a poll on this on Good Day Orlando this morning, and it was talking about if you have been late, what is acceptable, or you have a friend or family member that is typically late. And hey Ray, how are you? I've actually never met Dennis Phillips. I know he's down in Tampa. I see his things on Facebook all the time. But hey, thanks for hopping on. Thanks for the kind words. I appreciate it. Now, I told this to Marley on the air this morning, and I'm curious to hear what you have to say. If you have a friend that's typically late or you're always running late, I mean, things can happen, and there are always extenuating circumstances. But when I was a little younger, I feel like I was typically running a little bit behind schedule, and I feel like this job in the news business, which we have to adhere to a really tight schedule a lot of times, or we have to know how to change on the fly, change our schedules with little to no notice occasionally. So I've been able to really, I feel like I follow my schedule, whether it's at home or now a little tighter than what I used to be. So I'm curious to hear what you have to say, because I think it was like 51% of our viewers who commented on the poll said 5 to 10 minutes was the acceptable time of being late, so to speak. We had a question of all the way up to 30 minutes, and I think only 8% of people agreed that 30 minutes is okay. I think 30 minutes is way too late. I think if you're going to a dinner party and you're 30 minutes late, I would imagine that some of your friends or family might be eating without you. Maybe you can order late. Maybe you can grab a drink or grab a dessert and hang out with everybody. But that was our hot topic this morning, talking about being late. All right, so it's 10:48. In a couple minutes, we'll be taking another break on Fox Local. But we talked about Tropical Storm Chantal. Let me bring back up the satellite data, because if some of you have just joined us, maybe you missed our little chat about Chantal. Chantal has weakened now to a tropical depression. So that is some good news, still circulating up into the Carolinas right now, still spreading some heavy rain and some blustery conditions across interior North Carolina. And with this, let's pull up the radar and see where some of that heavy rain is falling right now. All right. So the heaviest, if you have any friends or family around Fayetteville, North Carolina, maybe you were here for the holiday weekend, maybe you drove down here and now you have to head back home. This will be moving quicker off to the northwest. So I would say if you're maybe traveling on I-95 here in the near term across North Carolina, you'll be driving through some pretty heavy rain at times, at least near the center of Tropical Depression Chantal. But it's moving quicker than it was yesterday, which is good news. So it won't be raining the entire time. I mean, if you're leaving, say maybe you're vacationing in Myrtle Beach, you're heading back northbound, you'll likely encounter some rain bands through the remainder of our Sunday. We actually had a tornado warning in coastal North Carolina earlier on. There is the potential for some spin-up tornadoes just being on the dirty side of this, but thankfully now that it's weakening, the wind isn't quite as strong, so I'd imagine that that tornado threat will start to diminish. Unique Cintrone, I love that. Unacceptable. Be on time. Yes, I agree. I feel like there are extenuating circumstances. Things happen. Maybe there's sadly maybe a bad accident that you get bogged down behind. There are definitely things that can happen that can cause people to be late. I always say being patient is really good, but if you're supposed to be somewhere and you're running that late, that's probably not the best. Herman, I lived in Oak Hill, West Virginia. That's where I was living at my first TV job. I worked at a station it was right in Oak Hill, but Oak Hill, Beckley, Bluefield was our TV market that I worked in. And Jackie, I love that you live in Alet, Virginia. I'm actually not familiar with Alet. You'll have to kind of fill me in. Let me know where Alet is. I feel bad. I'm not familiar. All right, we have about another minute of our break on Fox Local, but I know we're hanging out here on Fox 35's Facebook page, my Facebook page, and our YouTube account. So thanks for joining us. I know I don't see too many of you on right now, 22 on Facebook and 16 on YouTube, but for all of you that are watching, thank you. I greatly appreciate it. So rainfall-wise, this is where the heaviest is falling, anywhere from Laurinburg up to about Fayetteville. That's where the heaviest rain is falling now in North Carolina. You can still see some more feeder bands offshore that are going to work inland as we progress through the remainder of our Sunday. But this is great news. It's already weakening. It's weakened from that tropical storm that it was this morning after it made landfall, and overall improving conditions nonetheless. If you happen to miss it, Tropical Storm Chantal made landfall at 4 o'clock this morning in Litchfield Beach, South Carolina, with sustained wind around 50 miles per hour. Oh, Herman, I love that. I love that you're in Parkersburg. I actually almost took a job in Parkersburg. It was between there and Oak Hill, where I ended up working. What a small world. Okay, well, while we're on the tropics, let me pull up our Saharan dust tracker, because we actually have another plume that's moving our way now, or at least it's heading toward Florida. It's over Hispaniola, heading toward Cuba. And thankfully, with all the dust, we have another solid plume that's going to work around that Bermuda high here through the rest of this week. There are some tropical waves that are down across the intertropical convergence zone, but these waves, because of the setup and the dust, they really haven't been able to materialize in a big way, which is what we will gladly take. I mean, I know it's July now, already second month of hurricane season, which is hard to believe, but some good news there, another solid plume of dust moving our way. All right, well, here's a live look around Central Florida. You can see it's pretty quiet right now, believe it or not. Not a lot of folks on the beach in Daytona. I'm kind of shocked. I thought that being a holiday weekend, it'd be a little more crowded, but it's bright. It looks like a great beach day, at least from what I can see. Now, if you are planning to hit the beach today, I would say that you'd want to just watch the sky, watch the radar, because as the sea breeze comes inland, we are going to see more showers and thunderstorms, I think, focused on our beach locales today. Mount Dora looking really nice as well. A little breeze. Not seeing any boaters right now. Hit up the port. Nice little breeze there as well. I think with this ridging that we're trying to see, we also have Chantal to our north and east, so the wind definitely a little stronger here today. It should hopefully make it feel a little better out there too. So we will gladly take it radar-wise around Central Florida. We are starting to see some of those isolated showers and thunderstorms popping up. And I can zoom in right now, give you a little look at where we're starting to see some of this rain here. Marion County looks like trying to get over into Flagler County as well. I'm curious if we're kind of seeing that boundary. Yeah, it looks like that's actually where we're seeing some of that lift right now. That's kind of where that boundary is at this current time. So that makes sense why we're seeing some of that storminess there firing up. So we're kind of between two areas of low pressure, Chantal and this disturbance in the Gulf, but at the surface we still have this boundary draped overhead. All right, a few more minutes of our stream. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Oh, Jackie, near Mechanicsville. Okay, I love that. Well, I'm seeing 17 of you watching on YouTube and 33 of you watching on Facebook. Hello and good morning. Well, you can see a few showers here. North and east of Ocala, up toward Bay Lake, Eureka. A few of these will likely make their way into northwestern Volusia County. May Mission, Pearson, may hit Yellow Bluff, Seville, Connorsville if you're traveling along US 17 and heading right up into Flagler County, seeing a few showers up closer to Flagler Beach, Palm Coast, Bimini. Here I can actually stop the radar here. All right, get you. And you know what? For all of our friends watching in Levy County, there are some downpours just off of the Gulf Coast there, south of Cedar Key, south of Rosewood. And these will also continue to work off to the north and east. So heads up Central Levy County. These will heads up into Alachua County And we'll be watching that closely as we head through the remainder of the morning. Also seeing a few showers and thunderstorms, or at least some downpours, I should say, close to Gainesville, Mountain Manor, Pfeiffer, just to the north of Micanopy there. But thankfully, no lightning with this activity just yet, but I'm sure we might start to see some here as we start to add some instability to the atmosphere. Herman, it was WTAP. That was the station where I got a job offer from. That's where I almost worked. Good question. I love that. All right, well, we're going to hop off here in just a couple minutes, but thank you for joining me. I appreciate you hopping on here. And if you have anything that's on your mind, any sort of questions, I will try to answer those even after the fact. But I appreciate all of you joining me for a breakfast chat, a Fox 35 Weather Extra. And again, if you didn't realize this, we're doing these every weekend at 10:30 to 11 o'clock, at least on Fox Local. Our time constraints aren't there on Facebook or YouTube, so we may stay on even longer on Facebook or YouTube, but we're doing these every weekend. So join me at 10:30 and get the word out. Share. Jackie, let me pull up. That's a great question about tropical depression, Chantal. Let me pull up Chantal here. Again, for those of you on Fox Local, we'll be hopping off here in just a minute, but if you want to stay with me on YouTube and Facebook, we'll hang out here for a little bit longer. All right, let me pull up. So here is the current satellite imagery of Chantal, Jackie. So this is now getting into North Carolina, starting to get out of South Carolina into central North Carolina, and it's going to continue to head up toward Virginia here as we progress through the remainder of our day. And then it'll eventually start to get pulled off to the north and east with the help of the jet stream. There's a little dip in the jet stream that'll kind of help usher Chantal off to the east. So that's some good news there for sure. Great question. Alrighty, well, I think with that, I'm going to hop off of Facebook and YouTube as well, and Fox Local, but have a great rest of your holiday weekend. If you're getting to the beach, getting out with friends or family today, maybe you're hitting up the theme parks, whatever the case may be, wherever it takes you, stay safe, and we'll see you next weekend for a Fox 35 Weather Extra with myself, but look for more of these on our YouTube page, our Facebook page, and Fox Local throughout the week with Brooks, Jess, Noah, and Laurel whenever they get a chance to hop on as well. Have a great day, and I'll see you all soon.